Hi there, this is Paul Murphy, and today I'm going to show you how to use WebinarJam and give you a complete A to Z demo of how to set up your very first live webinar. Now, if you haven't used webinars yet, or you're about to start in your business, then you can click the links down below in the description, which is our affiliate link, where you'll get a 60-day completely free trial. And you can get that for EverWebinar or WebinarJam. WebinarJam is used for live webinars, and EverWebinar is a duplicate of WebinarJam, but only used for evergreen auto webinars. So you can get a complete trial on both of those platforms. So the first thing you want to do is, I would recommend going through some of these videos, but to get started, you would just click New Webinar. And you've got an express configuration and a full configuration. So we'll go through the express configuration so that I can show you exactly how quickly you can set up a webinar. And you would just need to fill out all this information. So I'll just pause this and fill it out. Right, so yeah, just filled out a title, the webinar title and the webinar description. And then you just need to click the screen button which says confirm. Now, if you notice, there's these play buttons. Now, these play buttons are they're little training videos. So when you go through, if there's anything you need reminding of, or if you want to watch those as you go through, virtually every section has them. You can see how to get video help. Now, this is the webinar platform. This is the Gendy platform, which is webinarjam.gendy.com. Now, the Gendy is a brand new platform for 2017. They've actually relaunched, and this year they've put in loads of new updates, and they haven't actually increased any of their prices. So obviously I would remind you again, take advantage of the 60 days while it still lasts, because I don't think they're going to be offering anything like a 60-day free trial for much longer. So obviously for a webinar schedule, you may want to run it right now to your list, or you may want to schedule it. So for this, we'll say we'll schedule it, and we'll select a date in the future. So we'll say 30th of November. I'm in the UK, so London, and we'll click add. This will actually come up in their time zone, so we'll put 8 PM. Actually, we'll do it that way. 5, 6, 7, 8. Went the wrong way, and it will actually come up in their time zone. So depending on where you are in the world, when any of your customers log in, especially if you're offering your training services to people who may not be in your country, then obviously that's really handy. It'll actually show them the time, and it will send out the reminders in their own time as well, which is excellent. So that's now scheduled, and then obviously just click confirm. And then you just need to choose a webinar registration page, and they've put a load of new ones in for this year as well, which is really good. So you don't really need any landing page software, to be honest. You can literally use you can create the whole webinar funnel in WebinarJam now, which is really good. So for this one, I think I'm going to choose. We'll choose that one. Why not? Okay, so when this goes live, this will actually show you the countdown, and then obviously you've got, you can literally sort of click and change. It's put in the title that we've already put in there. We're not charging for the webinar. Register now, and then yeah, you can obviously update this as you see fit. So all of the pages will be slightly different, but virtually everything you just click in the box, and then you can update how you want. Or actually, if you click on that, you'll be able to, there you go, yeah. So you'll be able to change that to whatever you want, or delete if you like, or this one's duplicate. So if you wanted to add some more bullet points, you can always do that as well. So that is, that's the landing page we're going to use for this one, which is really good. And obviously if you want to put a video in, you can put a video in, you can add things. So we'll save and exit. Okay, and then we'll go to the, we'll just press confirm. So when they register, WebinarJam has an autoresponder for the webinars. So you don't actually need your own autoresponder if you don't want to, but obviously you can switch this off and have it just run from your own autoresponder, depending on how you want to do it. WebinarJam will send tags over to your autoresponder, so you can have, different things sent over by different actions, and it will send tags based on virtually everything that happens, on when they registered, when they turned up, if they didn't actually watch the whole webinar, all that sort of good stuff. You can actually target and send emails as you see fit, based on whatever actions you want to communicate with your customer, which is absolutely brilliant. So on here you've got immediately it will send out an email, so I would leave that. And if I just show you the actual email, it sends out a pretty bog standard email, but it's pretty good. You don't need to necessarily change anything on that. This is letting them know. But of course, obviously, if you want to change anything on that, you can do. That's absolutely no problem at all. You can kind of adapt that how you see fit, but it will have all the links and the links to the actual webinar when they go live. So that will go out straight away. Again, you can have that so you can have these, you can delete or add extra ones in and have them sent out when you want. Now, a recommendation that I would use is certainly have one sent out straight away. You would certainly have one sent out like you have 15 minutes before, but depending on how far it is in the future, you may want one to go out an hour before. That's always good, so that they've, if they happen to be out, if you're just sending one out 15 minutes before, what the email will say is that we're just getting started, and if they happen to have forgotten about it and they're out and about, then they haven't really going to have much time. So an hour or 2 hours before, one or the other I would recommend, and a day before if it's going to be, say for instance, in a week's time. If you're running a webinar in a week's time, you certainly want to let them know at least a day before, so that they can kind of jog their memory. But that's just my recommendations. You can set that up however you want, which is really good. Okay, and then obviously you've got a replay. If you want to have a replay, you don't have to give them a replay if you don't want to. But obviously, if you're intending to do a replay, you can set that all up in there as well and send an email out letting them know that the replay is now live when you want. And you can add all sorts of various different emails in there as well. So that's that. And then you would go confirm. That's it. So that is how you would set up an email. Pretty much, I mean, without me talking you through that, you could do that in under a minute, which is unbelievable. So much quicker than it used to be. If you wanted to do a new webinar with a full configuration, obviously it just goes through a little bit more information. You can choose a thank you page. You can choose a page that they land on after they've been to the webinar. You can have 2 or 3 different pages included in that. But what I'll do is I'll include that in another video where you can actually see the whole full configuration. So for today, that is obviously your very short demo, but you can see how fast it is. Now, if you go down to the notes down below, you will actually be able to see a run through of a webinar that I've actually prepared for you, and it will actually have all the pages and everything, and there's no other funnel being used, so you're literally going to be going through, and it will send you an email to your actual email address, and then you'll be able to log in. And what I'll do is I'll set that up to run as an ever webinar, so it'll be set up to run every sort of 15 minutes, so you can pretty much log into it anytime, night or day, 24 hours a day. So depending on when you're watching this, you can go through that webinar, and it will just be a quick 5-minute webinar, and I'll show you, some of the cool features in there as well, what you can do and how you can do them on the actual webinar. But it's just a very quick webinar just to literally show you how the webinar platform works once you're logged in. Now, once you've obviously got your webinar all set up, you can then get your links. Now, when you get your links here, if you're sending out, you could send out this one to, this is the link that you need if you're going to send it out separately to your list. And obviously, if you want to make that a pretty link or make that different, obviously, as long as it goes to this address, then that's fine. That would enable people to register. Now, the other cool thing as well, if you are using your own software, your own landing pages, or for instance, if you wanted to have somebody register from your website, you can embed the button. Now, you just need to put this code into your header of your web page or into your custom CSS area. And then basically that will embed a blue button that says register, which is really cool. And then what happens is they don't go to your registration page initially. A little box will come up and it will give them times and dates of when the next webinar. So it's really cool. And then if you wanted to send out a direct link to the webinar room just before it's about to go live to save them having to go through all this, they'll still register, but it's much quicker. They literally just get a register box straight up. and then they are able to register and watch the webinar. But again, you only send that out when you're just about to go live. Otherwise, they'll just land on a page that says we're waiting for the event to start. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to join our free coaching on our Facebook group, it's facebook.com/groups/passive income ladder. So make sure you join that, and there's other people in there obviously can help you with anything that you need. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you on the next video.